Hello everyone and welcome back to my Dark Souls 3 walkthrough. Last time we completed the area known as the Road of Sacrifices, and this time we are going to explore the new area called Cathedral of the Deep. So right off the bat we are greeted with a bonfire and some stairs that lead up. But before we climb those stairs, there are a couple things to be done first. So first one, there is an NPC here, a hostile NPC nonetheless. A very thrilling fight that is now at its end. Let's heal. And this NPC was guarding a paladin's ashes. Alright, now moving on. To the left there is a somewhat moderately big area that has only one thing, and the thing is over here, and it's a Titanite shard. Right, now moving on. To the right there is a path that we can follow by dropping over here, and at the end of this path we can find a crest shield. And this is also an opportunity to get the drop attack on this guy. So if we do this correctly, so run, jump, and then plunge attack, we can get the advantage right off the bat. I mean, our advantage is that we can heal and this guy cannot. So it's not really an even fight, unfortunately. Anyway, moving on, after we arrive at the top of these stairs, there's an area with a lot of enemies with crossbows and quite a few dogs. And the best way to deal with this area is to kind of hug the left side, then go over here. And that way you only attract one dog that you can then take out individually, I guess on the side, and then you can work your way backwards to clear all the other enemies as well. Just keep in mind that you need to dodge bolts fired by the other guys. And this guy was next to another soul. Right, let's now finish up the rest of the dogs. Silence. Alright, so that's pretty much what we have in this side. And now this is where we finally get to the actual cathedral. This was just the lead up. And here we are at the Cathedral of the Deep. I'm going to take out this guy. And now, before I go there, which is, by the way, the first thing that you want to do, I am first going to clear out these guys and get the item they are guarding. As the item is an Estus shard. Right, so now let's go to where we want to go, which is in here. And if you have Ashes of Ariandel DLC, this is also where you are going to find an NPC praying. And if you don't, you can still find this item, so might as well loot it. Now this NPC I'm going to focus on when we get to the DLC after finishing the main game. For now I will just skip his dialogue. Right, so let's light the bonfire. And since I got some things to upgrade, I am going to go back to Firelink Shrine. So, I am going to go to Andre first, as I can upgrade my weapons.
Well, Matt, 'tis good to see ye in good health. What needs smithing this day?
So I can upgrade both the Fire Longsword to +3 and the Irithel Straightsword to +1. Now this is going to help quite a bit. And the Estus Flask upgrade is going to help quite a bit as well.
I don't want to see my work squandered.
And in the upcoming area we are going to need all the help that we can get, including purchasing something from her.
Ah, well met, Ashen One. How may I be of service?
Before I do that, let's give her the Umbral Ash, Paladin's Ashes.
Gracious, passing fine ash thou'st given. Let this ash bestow nourishment. I only hope these new wares content thee.
And I would like to purchase a torch. Now, since we defeated the NPCs in the previous episode, we can buy their armor from her. And after defeating the Crystal Sage, we can also buy his big hat. I'm not going to though. There's no reason for me to do that.
Ashen One, be sure to bring more souls.
Right, now let's get ready to face the horrors of the cathedral. So firstly I want to put on this Bloodbite ring. Secondly, I am not going to need a longbow in here. I want to equip a torch. And I also want to equip the priest's chime that I purchased from Greyrat. Right, that should be it. So let's go back to the cleansing chapel and let's explore the cathedral a little bit. Well, that's a bit of an overstatement. We are not going into the cathedral just yet. We will still explore the outside of it. So by going here we reach a graveyard where the enemies respawn endlessly, so I will not even bother trying to kill them. There's no sense in doing that. So if we follow this path, if we follow the if we basically hug the left side, we can find an Astora Greatsword, and then we can drop over here and follow this path to find another weapon. Oops. An Executioner's Greatsword alongside a Fading Soul. And very, very much of an ambush. Now, moving on, we can follow the path forward to finally exit the graveyard. Now, these enemies are also weak to fire, so fire longsword is invaluable here. Sure, that went well. And as you can see, I defeated an enemy and another one's already taken its place. So just gotta keep moving forward. And here we encounter this enemy walking down the stairs. And this guy may seem skinny, but is very agile. So you don't want to underestimate him. And he actually dropped something, a blood red moss clump. That's sweet. Right, moving on. Down here we have some more of these guys, as well as quite a few items, and a white birch, which means that our friendly giant will be helping us deal with the enemies here. So over here we can find some souls, some repair powder, an undead bone shard, and a couple young white branches. Alright, now up these stairs. Now obviously you want to go up there to progress, but first we can go over here, as there are a couple of things. Outside of this little building there's a titanite shard. Inside we can find a curse ward great shield, as well as a ladder that we can kick down to unlock a shortcut. So when we slide down this ladder, where are we? Well, I will show in a second, but first I need to deal with this guy, who is a very vulnerable to fire. Right, now let me also take care of this guy. And I failed to dodge his attack on time. And now I am infected with maggots, which, as you can see, fill up my bleed build up. But they are afraid of fire. And that is exactly the reason why I took the torch. If you ever get infected with maggots, you can just grab a torch and they will go away. Right, now okay, rude. And also the reason I purchased this chime is because of its skill, the Gentle Prayer, which recovers HP for a period of time, but it is very slow. So if I activate it, my HP will start going up, but as you can see, it's very slow. Right, now over here we can find another crystal lizard, so let's get it. And we get another twinkling titanite. And there's also this little item tucked away in the corner, another titanite shard. So we are getting quite a bunch of materials for upgrading weapons. Now moving on, there is another crystal lizard ready to run away, which I do not intend to let it happen. There we go. The crystal lizard is down and we get another twinkling titanite. Now we can also go up these stairs, where we can find another titanite shard. And now over here is where we find a mini boss of sorts. Wakey wakey. Alright, maybe let's move away from the wall. And poke. There we go. 5,000 souls and a Titanite scale as a reward. Now, similarly to how Titanite shards are used to reinforce basic weapons, and how Twinkling Titanite is used to reinforce special weapons. Over here we find a poison bite ring, by the way. Titanite scales are used to reinforce weapons that you get from transposing boss souls. Alright, so here we find another Titanite shard, and since I have enough Twinkling Titanite to upgrade my Irrefill Straight Sword once again, I will return to the shrine and do that. Aside from that, I will also burn the undead bone shard that I found. Right, so...
Well, Matt, 'tis good to see ye in good health. What needs smithing this day?
I would like to reinforce Irrefill Straight Sword once more. And that's pretty much it. Have a nice day.
Be careful. I don't want to see my work squandered.
Alright, and just a quick trip to the shrine to reinforce the weapon, burn an undead bone shard, and back to the cleansing chapel. And this time I am going to finally enter the actual cathedral. Skip. So, where is the shortcut? So if you go up these stairs, at this little obelisk you can turn to the right, and there is a drop which takes you to this lower area, which is also where we can climb the ladder to skip the entire graveyard section. Alright, and I'm going to let this guy just go to the graveyard. I am not going to attract his attention. I've already defeated him and there's no reason to fight him again. Alright, so we arrive at the cathedral and the door is closed. So we need to explore the outside a little bit more first. To the left over here we can find a couple rusted coins which can be used to temporarily increase item discovery, useful for when you're farming enemies for items. There are also a couple red bug pellets there, and a little surprise party by these guys. One was walking around looking dumb, and the other two were just waiting to jump out on us, and the third guy was standing up there shooting bolts, and he decided to be dumb and jump down, which was his undoing. Right, now over here obviously you need to go over there, but you might notice there is a little bit of area to the side, that path made out of planks. Now in this area there are quite a few you could say ambushes, traps, so you need to always keep your eyes peeled and be ready to face more enemies than you actually thought there were. Right, so over here we find a large soul of an unknown traveler. And some more enemies to take out. Whatever that guy was cooking, I did not want to eat it. Right, so now that this area is a little bit safer, it's actually not safer, as there are some guys aiming their crossbows. So let's take them out. There's also another guy with a spear and shield, so let's deal with him as well. Kick, stab, and bye-bye. Alright, now there's a little trick you can perform. You can do it by jumping over here, and while there are no items that you can actually pick up over here, you can be the one to get the jump on some enemies that would otherwise get the jump on you. Alright, so over here there's another enemy up here. So let's deal with him. And over here we can find some enemies just waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike, which they will never get because I surprised them instead. Alright, so now if we go down here, I am actually going to jump over this railing to get to this enemy, and oh lord, there is another big guy. Let's take him out. Let's take out this guy as well. And now that those guys have been dealt with and won't surprise us, let's backtrack a little bit and deal with the other enemies in the area. Nice. Right, so in this room, the one that that cheeky bugger came out from, we can find a soul of a nameless soldier, and you guessed it, more enemies. Right, after dealing with them, I will go back over here, as there was an item over here and another enemy just waiting for us, but we've got a surprise for him in a form of a fireball. Night night. We get some red bug pellets, 3 of them. And over here we find another item. Guarded by a chubby. And some of these guys. Okay, let's try to deal with the chubby. I probably should have started off with Irritable Straight Sword to apply Frostbite, but I think it's fine. And finish her off with a backstab. Alright, I'm actually going to activate the health restoration once more. There's another one of these guys. And these guys actually throw projectiles that prevent you from using Estus Flask for about half a minute. I'm pretty sure there's an enemy somewhere above, but he appears to be a bit too shy. Anyway, let me now switch to Irritable Straight Sword. there are a couple more difficult enemies to deal with over here. Okay, let's try to lure this guy over here. And after I applied Frostbite, let's switch back to the Fire Longsword for higher damage. And there we go, there's the other enemy. Ow. Alright, so those guys have been dealt with. And now let's keep going. Let's take out these guys before they do anything stupid. I got a long sword from that guy, but I have a better one already. So I appreciate the gesture, but no thank you. And this is a door that we can open, but first I am going to go over here, since there's a little area with an item and quite a few enemies. Okay. Okay, chill. Yeah, I get it. You have a big axe. Okay, I guess he was just going to keep doing that until I stab him in the back and finish him off. Alright, now that these guys have been dealt with, let's go finish the job and get the item. And the item in question is an ember. Alright, now let's finally enter the cathedral. So, here we are. This place is quite massive, and there's quite a massive enemy over here. Now, this enemy we will need to run past, and the way we do that is we will emerge over there, and we will need to follow this path down here and then to that door. Alright, now moving on. Now this thing right here, it's very resistant to physical damage, but very weak to fire damage. So my fire longsword is far better against them than the Irithel straight sword. Right, here we have a couple more enemies to deal with. So let's do that. Alright. Now down here, well, to the left, there is a lift that goes down, and it actually brings us to the bonfire. So it's also kind of like a checkpoint, you could say. It's more of a shortcut, but it's fine. So after we finally make it to the cathedral, we can unlock the shortcut to no longer have to deal with the outside. Now, before I go on this run, I am going to switch to the Grasscrest shield, which increases stamina regeneration. And the way you want to run in this game, you don't want to deplete your stamina completely. So if you're sprinting, your stamina is decreasing, and you want to stop sprinting at about 10 to 20% stamina. then you want it to recover to about 80 to 90%, not to full, because then you would be wasting the regeneration. And if you're at about 80-90%, you want to start sprinting again. So there, a short lesson on how to efficiently sprint, and now let's show it in practice while trying to not get hit. Right, so here we have a couple items that we can pick up. A soul, a Lloyd's sword ring, and some bolts. There are also some enemies here. One of them with a sword and the other one with a crossbow. Let's take out both of them and let's go before we get hit by the giant. Okay, that went smoothly. Now, before I go down here, I actually want to go to the left, as there are a couple of things we can find. So, firstly, there is a ladder that we can climb, and as you might recognize by this bonking sound, it's another one of the chubbies. So let's dance with her. Let's start off with a backstab, then a charged attack. She then damaged us with her chubbiness by existing. And let's finish her off with another backstab. Before I go down the ladder, there is actually an item over here, which is an ember. And this is also where the guy with the crossbow was before he made the dumb decision of jumping down. Now, I realized that I forgot to show something, so I'm actually going to go back and show it right now. It's going to be risky as the giant is going to wake up once again. Right, so we came from here, then the shortcut was over here, the way forward was here, but there was also a way to the side over here. A narrow corridor, at the end of which we find a chubby. So once again, let's take her out with a backstab, a charged attack, and another backstab after rejecting her hug. Right, and this one was guarding a deep gem on this balcony, which, I mean, it's somewhat of a decent view. Right, so now that I've shown this little area, let's go back past the giant and let's You cheeky bugger. That was rude. Alright, anyway, let's now once again run past the giant. That was close, I almost got knocked down. Alright, made it. Now, back to what I wanted to also show. So, we can go over here, and there's another item, and as you might notice, there are some enemies just waiting to ambush us. So, let's deal with them, and let's go get that item. Except there's another one of these cheeky buggers. So let's greet him with a firebomb. And let's finish the job. And the item it was trying to use as a bait was Seek Guidance, which is a miracle, which I am not going to use. Alright, now let's go down the stairs. And here we find a chest that is not actually a chest. It's a mimic, and it was just waiting for an unaware traveler to open it. That way it could have its dinner. But it didn't happen, and we get a deep Braille Divine Tome. Alright, so now let's move on. And we face the first Cathedral Knight. Alright, it actually went more smoothly than I thought it would. So to the left is how we get to the big area, but first I'm going to go into this big, empty, totally not suspicious room and loot this item, which is an ember. And sure enough, it couldn't have been that easy. Right, let's be careful, let's not do anything stupid here. As I almost do something stupid. And there we go, this enemy is now down, and we get Aldrich's Sapphire, which is a ring that recovers FP with critical strikes. Right, so now moving on, I will actually switch to the Knight Shield for 100% physical damage absorption. Right, there are also some of these guys, and there is an invader, so I actually don't want to deal with more than one enemy at a time, so I will take out this guy, and now let's deal with the invader. Longfinger Kirk of Rosaria's Fingers. Alright, let's take him out. Come on, what's wrong? Are you scared? Stop poking me with your dumb, thorny armor. Man, that's rude. Right, we get his sword and his shield, and something I have not yet mentioned is about the ring we picked up. It boosts attacks when our HP is full. And the increase in damage is actually quite nice, and can sometimes be the difference maker. Right, now let me deal with these guys first, as there's an item that I want to recover. Sir, I beg of you, do not bonk me. That's enough of your bonkage. said that's enough. Right, and the guy dropped his armor. Okay, now let's take out these guys. And both of them decided to just stay at range and throw knives? Okay, that's curious. Anyway, the item over here that I meant to pick up is a large soul of an unknown traveler. And a fun fact, there is a lever here, which can be used to raise this wall, which then closes that giant in that pile of mud. Right, now over here is where we can actually once again unlock a shortcut to the bonfire. Alright, so I believe this is a good time to rest, as I have lost some durability, some FP, some Estus flasks. Right, and there's also this other door. With a lift behind it, but I'm not going to go there just yet. I am instead going to go back in here, as I was hurt by these guys because of my loud and heavy knight armor. Alright, now unfortunately we need to go that way, past the giant, and I'm actually going to equip fire bombs in my quick slot once again for a little bit of ranged combat. Now this mud or muck or whatever it is, similarly to the deep water in the previous episode, it makes movement more difficult, and it's not a place where we want to fight anyone. So I will try to lure the giant onto this solid ground and take him out like that. Okay, so far it's going quite good. Yeah, okay, so I'm pretty much on stable ground right now, and I can just go ham on this guy. I'm sure it wasn't his stomp that got me. I'm pretty sure he farted while doing it, and that's the thing that actually does damage to me. Please do not interrupt me while I'm dealing with this giant, alright? Alright, how are we doing? The giant is not doing well. In fact, he is down. And as a drop, a guaranteed drop from this guy, we get a large titanite shard and 4 aromatic projectiles. Anyway, so in this muck there are quite a few items to pick up. There are Drang shoes, Drang gauntlets, Drang armor, there is also a pale tongue, a large soul of an unknown traveler, there's this guy, and below the stairs there are also Drang hammers. Right, let me once again activate this, as I did lose that much health from the fart, and I don't feel like I should use an Estus flask. to restore it. And this is where we arrive at some benches. A couple of these guys. And also a Cathedral Knight with a great sword this time, so we need to be careful. Firstly though, let me clear out the benches, pick up this item, destroy the benches some more. And I have been hurt. Alright, this guy is pretty scary, but luckily I managed to get the backstab on him, which pretty much guaranteed me the win. And I got his greatsword, which I plan to actually use as a weapon for the rest of the run. So that was lucky. If I didn't get a drop, if I didn't get that drop in this area, I would have to settle for another combination of weapons to use. But since I got it, I can instead be using that for the rest of the run. Alright, let me activate the healing once again, and before I go there, by the way, I'm actually going to just go here and take out these guys. I know they're just minding their own business, but they look ugly, and they looked at me funny. Okay, so to the left we find another one of these funny contraptions, which brings us to actually the first door that we encountered, and the one that we couldn't open from the outside. Alright, so now let me go over here and show you what there is. We once again meet our Onion Knight. There are some dual charms as well, and I guess let's just progress his questline, right?
Well, you look reasonably sane. I am a knight of Katarina. I've managed to track down this cathedral's store of treasure. It's right over there, across that narrow part. Treasure? Always so close, yet so far. I'm in quite a pickle, indeed.
Your voice sounds a little bit different. Like, do you have allergies or something?
Just hold your horses a moment. I know. Treasure is so sorely tempting.
Alright, across that narrow path, you said. Alright, let's check it out.
Shame on you, you greedy guts. Thought you could outwit an onion. Well, say hello to the nice giant. He adores visitors.
To the nice giant. Hello. Whoa. Chill, maybe? Like just chill? Tickle. Alright, let's take you out, shall we? I'm getting there. Stop turning around like that, you're going to get dizzy. It's not worth it, I tell you. It is not worth it, I tell you. Alright, I said hi to the nice giant, and yeah, once again, large titanite shard and 4 dung pies. And now that the giant is out of the way, we can go over here and pick up the items in this whatever this is. You know, there are some things that you would rather not think about. Let's just say that this is mud and let's go with it. So, next to this wall in the mud, we get a set of maiden cloths. I guess, clothes, not exactly armor. And we also get a soul of a nameless soldier and another door that we can open. And behind this door there are some stairs and another door which we can also open. Alright, so in here there is a Saint Bident, which is a spear type weapon, and there are a couple of homeward bones, which suggest that we should use them instead of going back through that mud, which I am going to do. I will go to the shrine and bonfire. And I am going to upgrade my new weapon of choice.
Well, Matt, 'tis good to see ye in good health. What needs smithing this day?
So I found this sweet new weapon. It's called a Cathedral Knight Greatsword, and I would like to upgrade it. To +4, sure. Now I need 26 strength to use it well.
Pretty be careful. I don't want to see my work squandered.
Well, efficiently, let's call it that way. And to do that, we need to level up a little bit.
Welcome home, Ashen One. Speak thine heart's desire.
I want to be strong.
Very well. Then touch the darkness within me. Take nourishment from these sovereignless souls.
Alright, so 26 strength, right? Right, so let me do that. And let me also put some more points into vigor. There we go.
Farewell, Ashen One. May the flames guide thee.
Right, and now, like I mentioned, this is going to be my weapon of choice. It's very big and very heavy, unfortunately, and because of that I actually am what's referred to as fat rolling, and that is because I am over 70% equip load, and I would like to put on some lighter armor, for example this Drang armor that I found. It also looks quite fashionable. I'm also going to put on the Drang gauntlets to go with it. And now, since I am again below 70% equip load, I can roll freely. Alright, now let's go back to the chapel and let's figure out what on earth happened. So the shortcut that we unlocked to that well, the door that we opened, to get there we need to go here, but first
Hello? Anyone there? Anyone at all?
we hear a familiar voice.
Oh. I know that voice. Just how long has it been? It's me, Siegward of Cathedral. I'm loath to admit it, but I've been had. Someone's swiped my armor. Did you happen to see it anywhere?
Well, I have seen it, but I'll go get it, okay?
Oh, yes. I see. Not to worry. Great planning begets great fortune. An old tenant of the Knights of Cathedral. And I am a master planner, I do say. Ha 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 ha.
Alright, while you are planning your way out, I am actually going to go have a word with the person who swiped your armor and then tricked me. So, up here is back at the outside of the cathedral, but this time in a slightly different place, and we can actually go to the higher levels of the cathedral. And see what we've got. So we've got some enemies, then we've got some other enemies, so let's deal with them. Alright, that's the second enemy down. Now the guys that previously dropped down to get to us now climb up to get to us. So we need to be wary of them. I'm going to grab the sword in both hands, and now let me explore the rest of this area. There we go. Anyway, I guess that guy was too scared of my sword. So, over here, at the end of this little path, slanted roof, I guess, we find an arbalest, which is a crossbow that I'm actually going to use later on. And after we get to the end of this path, there is yet another pale tongue that we can pick up. And now that the outside of the cathedral has been cleared, it's time to go inside. Okay, I thought you fell, but you didn't. Yeah, speaking of falling, we are like at the very, very top of the cathedral, and falling down from here is lethal, no matter who falls or where. It's lethal. So here we have another one of these knights, patrolling and guarding this item, and I just swiped it from underneath his nose. I do not like this. That was a very rude, sir. You cornered me without any shame, and I couldn't get past you. Shut up, NPC from DLC. I need to go back to where I was, before I got so terribly punished by that guy. And when I go to fight him, I'm actually... You know what? I'm actually going to switch back to Airfield Straight-Sword right now, as short swords, surprise surprise, are much quicker than great swords. So if I choose to attack at less than optimal time, I can still have some time to retaliate. Well, not retaliate, but like some time to dodge the incoming attack from the guy. Anyway, let's take these guys out once again. And this time I'm not going to go that far. I am going to instead go this way. And I shall return to where I was before I got so terribly pushed against the wall. Alright, first things first, let's recover the lost souls. And now, I know that this armor is not very good for winter, and as it happens, I have a chill sword. There, that is what happens if you try to humiliate me like that. Alright, now moving on, I am not going to fight these guys on top of the rafters, as like I mentioned, fighting, well, falling from this height is guaranteed death, and it's more than likely that I will fall if I try to fight them here. I instead aim to drop over there to finally get to the other side, to the supposed treasure. And I'm going to keep the Airfield Straight-Sword for a little bit longer. Just in case. And there we go. And here I am. Let me switch back to this weapon and... Alright, so you.
Yes, hello. Oh, I don't believe we've met. I'm Patches. Unbreakable Patches. You seem to be unkindled. Do you have business with me?
I do.
Oh, yes, of course. It's coming back to me now. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was my hand, as you know. But the deed, well, that was the armor's doing.
What now?
Regrettable, truly. But behold, I'm stripped clean of that unruly attire. Look at you. Not a scratch. All's well that ends well, right? Yes, we'll be fine. I can tell. It's that rotten curse. It is. The untidy mess.
You are full of lies.
Oh, yes. Now, it wasn't me. But you still deserve an apology. Just a little trinket. Go ahead. It's yours now. You should know, I'm a kind of travelling merchant. If you're as unkindled as you look, you'll find plenty of good stuff.
Like what? Like the armor that you stole? I would like to have that back, and I will return it to its rightful owner.
Thanks, sweetie.
Right, so for this little area I will switch back to the fire longsword of mine, as like I mentioned it's faster and the fire damage is also going to be useful against these guys. Another one, another one. Alright. And you as well. Let's take you out, and we get a red sign soapstone from this guy, which is an online item. You can use it to place your summon sign. That way other players can summon you and challenge you to a duel. Right, over here is where we find another bonfire in the area. And if we defeated the invader downstairs, we can also get his armor right here. And this is another NPC. This time it's for Covenant, but I'm not going to join her Covenant just yet, as it would prevent me from completing another quest line. I will come back to her later, however. Alright, so now that I have Katharina armor, I will go to Siegward and give him it, and throw that to him. Silence a DLC NPC. Hey, Siegward!
Quite a pickle indeed. Maybe I can fashion a replacement I've got to use my head and think.
Here. This should help.
Oh, my armor. My deepest gratitude. I, Siegward of Catarina, salute you. With my trusty suit of armor, I'll be out of here in a jiffy. Until we meet again, comrade.
Until our next meeting indeed. Alright, now let me switch back to the new big weapon that I have, and let me take the double shortcut. So, over here, up this ladder, quite a long ladder indeed. I would like to also switch to the Grass Crest shield once again for the stamina regeneration, and I shall grab the sword in I'm not sure actually if I should wield it with one hand or with two. I will see how things go and which one of the two I'm more comfortable with. Either way, let's now return to where we are supposed to go, and I shall use an ember in a moment. But first I would like to deal with these guys once more. And this time let me get the sneak attack on this guy. I need to have my revenge on him for something he didn't do. He's not happy about that. Go figure. Alright, now that this guy is out of the way, let me use an ember. There we go, that's much better. Alright, and now, moving on, we can find a summon sign for Horus the Hushed, as well as for Anri of Astora. Well, Anri did say that they would be going towards the Cathedral of the Deep, home of the Grim Aldrich, and sure enough, this is where our paths crossed. Except this is not Aldrich. These are a bunch of Deacons. Right, so the thing about this boss, the Deacons respawn endlessly, pretty much. And the only way to deal actual damage to the boss is to take out the one that is glowing. So let's focus on that instead. Let's run around, look at which one of them is the poor sorry fool that is chosen. And let's deal with him first. Now, after defeating 5 enemies like that, the actual boss appears. And he becomes our target for the rest of the fight. Let me perform the weapon art, and I actually wanted to perform this one instead, as I just exhausted all of my stamina, so I couldn't roll away. Anyway, let's perform it again. That was fun. I did not mean to absolutely destroy these guys. I meant to perform a charged attack against the boss, like this. And let's finish this. Alright, so we get a small doll and Soul of the Deacons of the Deep. And once again, a bonfire. Now, this boss also has a little bonus to give. After you rest at the bonfire, you can pick up the set of the Archdeacon. Right, so now that Deacons are out of the way, let's go back to the shrine. Where we can find Anri. Hi.
Oh, and we meet again. We spoke before on the Road of Sacrifices. Amrit, a restorer. I'm well pleased to see you safe. We reached the Cathedral of the Deep, but Aldrich's coffin was empty. The man-eater must have left for his true home. The little doll in the empty coffin told me. Aldrich is said to hail from Irithyll in the Boreal Valley, an ancient fabled city. A pilgrim told me that the city lies beyond Found Keep, and so becomes our destination.
Alright, beyond Faron Keep. You are just as talkative as ever. Alright, so the next destination is Faron Keep, but I shall leave that for the next episode. For now, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later. Goodbye.